And the question is, number one, what is going to happen with Kyrie Irving? Yes, indeed. I know we're all focused on the Los Angeles Lakers just down the road here from the Rich Eisen Show studio and what's going to happen with Russell Westbrook. And, you know, I've even heard Bradley Beal's name thrown out quite a bit, that Bradley Beal is potentially in play from the Washington Wizards, and who wouldn't want to add him and get his remarkable playing ability into your locker room and on your court. Why not? But it really is all about what the Brooklyn Nets are going to do with Kyrie Irving, because that affects the future potentially for Kevin Durant. And if that thing gets blown up in Brooklyn, look out. And the New York Daily News. Is that the most New York you can get, Mike? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay, if I could forget growing up what the New York Daily News phrase was. The New York Daily News, Christian Winfield, writing for the New York Daily News, covers the Nets, says that the Nets have agreed to allow Kyrie Irving to seek a sign and trade away from the Brooklyn Nets. Now, he has a player option for about $37 million.
Sure does.
And according to Winfield, last week, the Nets and Kyrie talking about his future there. Kyrie, I imagine, wants a max contract, and the Nets are not keen on giving him that. And the first offer, according to Winfield, was you sign your option, you opt in, and then we'll talk next July. Which is, there's no negotiations. That's you take what's currently on the table, and then we'll talk. And not surprisingly, Woj came on the ESPN airs over the last couple days, said things have turned acrimonious between the Nets and Kyrie Irving. And I proffer to say it's just like the old Judge Smales negotiation tactic. You'll get nothing and like it.
Spalding.
How about you just pick up? How about you just opt back in and we'll see how it goes?
Right.
And then, other reports say that they figured out we'll give you another year, 2 years, 80 some odd million bucks, and we'll just we'll just double what your player option is and add a little bit of something on top of it. And I guess Kyrie wants out. And according to Winfield, I wrote down this paragraph. The Nets, they do not believe Irving is committed to doing what it takes to be on the floor every game for his teammates. Not with his teammates, for his teammates.
What gave that away?
Well, him playing only 103 regular season games in his first 3 years as a Brooklyn Net. First year was a shoulder injury that kind of knocked him for a loop. Year two, you remember the personal reasons? Remember he missed 2 weeks and nobody knew why he had missed 2 weeks?
Yep.
And word was back and forth that the insurrection at the Capitol helped kind of spark a funk for Kyrie Irving, and didn't want to play, didn't feel like playing, missed 2 weeks, and then he had another personal absence that was approved by the team that was a 3-game roadie. And we all know what happened this year with the vaccine mandate in New York City way back when most of us acknowledged COVID still existed. And there you have it. Now, there apparently is one teammate who has no problem believing that Kyrie is, in fact, committed to doing what it takes, and that could be Kevin Durant. And all eyes on Kevin Durant. Because I'll tell you what, there are many people rooting for somebody to accept Kyrie Irving in a sign and trade, because apparently that's what it's going to take, not only for the team to fit him under the cap when they acquire him, but for the Nets to make this deal and not have it totally screw them with the cap. And the Lakers, apparently, according to Woj, are one of the only teams with mutual interest in Kyrie Irving, and that might be LeBron James saying, what's up? Let's get Batman and Robin back together again, even though Robin told Batman, I'm out, to go to Boston, where he had an acrimonious stay there. Damian Lillard, right? He IG'd out a little.
Put this on his story over the weekend.
And it's not Kyrie's face he put on a jersey. It's Durant's face and body that he put into a Portland jersey.
I just got chills.
That's what this is about.
Woo.
Everybody's rooting for somebody to take Kyrie off the Nets because they feel that will trigger Durant saying, I'm out of here. I'm not sticking with Ben Simmons. Figuring out how he can be, let me use the phrase of the New York Daily News, maybe he might not be committed to doing what it takes to be on the floor every game for his teammates. He has a history causing people to wonder if he has that.
You might resemble that remark.
This is what it's about. Durant. And because Durant is one of the greatest players of all time. He still is at the top of his game. Let's not forget.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't want him right here and right now? And apparently the entire league is making preparations to see if the Nets are going to let Kyrie go in a sign and trade. And Durant, according to the New York Daily News, has not had any contact with the front office of the Nets. He's kind of radio silent right now, too. If the Nets break up, it would be one of the most spectacular failures we've seen in the NBA in quite some time. And a remarkable turnaround from 2019 when we were all saying, look out when Durant comes back from his Achilles. He and Kyrie are going to be lethal. And then they added Harden to the mix. And even with all that, by the end of this playing season, by the new league year of 2022, just 3 years later, the Nets could be completely blown up. And the Warriors are the ones who watched Durant go in 2019. And they're the current champions of the basketball world. What a turn of events. I wouldn't give Kyrie Irving 2 cents longer than what he has already on a piece of paper. I don't blame the Nets to do what they are doing at all. And I say that knowing how incredibly talented he is. But I don't think you see, right, too many people sending out the memes right now of Kyrie Irving in their team's uniform, do you? I don't see that at all.
Nope.
And for him to be, you never see it in the articles exactly what's going on. There is an iceberg, and we see the tip in Brooklyn. And for the Nets to basically say after the Celtics did the same thing, you are incredibly talented. You are one of the best at your position of your generation. We know it. The entire basketball world knows it, but get out. We don't want you here anymore. We're done. We're not going to give you a penny over what we currently already have. And apparently, Sean Marks and Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, are lockstep in this negotiating tactic with Irving, who famously, after the Nets got bounced in the playoffs, unceremoniously, I might add, he went up to the podium and basically said, I'm ready to co-run this franchise with everybody. I'll help make the decisions. We'll get some people here. And then the Nets are like, yeah, no,
we good.
No. The flow chart's pretty good as it is. And you want to opt in and talk next year? Let's see how it goes. And he wants to sign and trade. And the teams are the Lakers, Clippers, Knicks. Oh, please, Knicks, make that move. Because, again, he's closer to New Jersey home. Philadelphia, Dallas, and Miami. And you know Miami's itching to make the big move.
I think so.
And you know what Miami's move might be?
A move you wouldn't have made?
No, Miami's move might be. Let Kyrie just say I'm out, right? And they snag him, and then Durant says I want out too. And he goes to Miami, and they bring the two of them together to Miami.
How's that going to work?
I don't know.
It hasn't worked before.
Give it a Coach Spo. You figure it out.
I wouldn't take that chance, man. No way.
You don't think Riley would do that in a heartbeat? You don't think Riley wants to make a big move like that?
I think the big move is Durant. Durant and Jimmy Butler together.
And Kyrie instead of Kyle Lowry? What do you think?
No. Let Hero be the kind of the big three with that, with those two guys.
But Miami is no doubt sitting in wait
for sure
to root for a sign and trade that would trigger Durant's anger and thus exit from Brooklyn. That's what's afoot as we currently talk, I believe.
And we were talking about this last week on the basketball pod. If Kyrie ends up on the Clippers, how about that for a big three of Kawhi, Paul George, and Kyrie Irving? Those three guys' games all fit together, TJ. And I think that would be kind of a lethal trio.
Yeah, and like we said before, Ty Lue already led Kyrie to the promised land
Yes,
once.
he did.
So
He
if
knows,
there's anyone who kind of
yes.
understands and speaks Kyrie, you would assume it's Ty Lue.
He's fluent.
He's fluent in Kyrie.
I don't know who the hell is, man.
You know, maybe.
I mean, I just yearn for the Uncle Drew days where he was just making fun pop culture. And I know he's talking about important things in the world, but for him to let it affect his availability like he did in year 2, apparently, and then year 3, everything with the vaccine, there's always something up.
Yeah.
Smudging the TD Garden after he says he wants to be a Celtic for life. And all you got to do, seriously, all you got to do is look at the Celtics now. And if I'm the Nets, I'm like, look at what happened the last time a team let him go, and everyone was wondering, are you adrift? Are you not? And then you call up Durant and say, what do you need? What do you think you need?